First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double ourselves Greek millstone, while lunch is truth, and also to those elect that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. And come back here today with another great, powerful lesson to the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So the type of day lesson is Cuba banking crisis. So I like to say Shalom to all that listen and learn. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So I have a quick news article here by AP Associated Press. We're just going to read the title. I'm not going to go into the news article, but we have videos to bring it out with more edification. So we just read the title. And it reads, it said, long lines form and frustration grows as Cuba runs short of cash. So we already know, we've been hearing the reports that Cuba banking financial system has collapsed, and also we know that these banks has closed. Also people are trying to get money out of the what you call the ATM. So they cannot get any money to buy their necessities like food, water, medical supply, clothing, and so forth. So we're seeing that right now, crisis. Cuba is in a great crisis right now, and a lot of things has not been reported. And also, it's rumors that they're getting ready to offer them universal basic income. We already know where this is going to lead. So we already seeing that these other countries are constantly rolling out these digital IDs, because one thing about it, it's going to work hand in hand with this new digital currency they get ready to put into place, and also the ultimate goal will go under the skin. So we're seeing that these things are rolling out right before our eyes, and also the mental law. We've constantly been reporting on this left and right, telling you that you will not be able to buy or sell. You're seeing right now it already has started in Cuba. Let's read this title once again. It said, long lines formed and frustration grows as Cuba runs short of cash. So right now, we already know that the dollar is finished, the fiat currency, the petro dollar. So we already know that once the dollar goes, we know that all hell will break loose. So a lot of people right now, they can't buy food. So we already know that will be food shortage. Also, it was rumors that they didn't have any type of internet. He's saying that also that the power in certain places in Cuba was, the power was out. So the communication. So it's already been has been prophesied that, and also we've been telling you about what they're saying, that rumors of cyber attacks. A lot of these things are coming, a time of trouble that we've never seen before. Jacob's trouble is at the door, and also the hour of temptation. So we're seeing right now, these people right now are in a panic mode. So they're what you call going to be like blind men, So it's going to be a lot of great desperation and sorrow. So a lot of people had money in the bank, thinking that they was a good case. Now they seeing right now that a calamity has fallen upon them. Now what are you going to do? So a lot of people right now is going to line up and trust in this new system they get ready to put in place, starting with this universal basic income. This is the what you call debate. They are baiting you up for something very, very more sinister, more dark. So they want what? Total control. Badge of servitude. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to try to go into too deep. So we're seeing right here that it already had started in Cuba, and also it is coming to America very soon. We already constantly warning you, and they already constantly been predicting that the dollar is getting ready to crash, that the economy is getting ready to crash. So one thing about it, so a lot of people right now, still are in the house of mirror, still drinking and being married, going on with their daily life, still are not considering, don't know the signs of the time, don't even know what day it is, So we seeing right now that, these things are constantly picking up. Bible prophecy is speaking loud and clear. Also, World War III is constantly picking up. A lot of things that happen, and also the love of men is constantly waxing colder and colder, and also the vision of spirit is constantly working overtime. So we knowing that we're here. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is Cuba banking crisis. So I have a few short videos, and after the video, we will start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
Y'all, we gotta talk, because yet again, they are playing in your faces. Have y'all heard about this? Cubans wake up to find their bank accounts have been emptied. Socialism. Fantastic slogans, a terrifying reality. The banking system has collapsed in Cuba. Bank accounts have been emptied and no cash at ATMs. It goes on to read, the financial banking system in Cuba has completely collapsed. Cubans woke to learn their bank accounts have been emptied. There is no cash at ATMs. The entire financial system in Cuba has completely collapsed. For some reason, this monumental story has not made it onto the mainstream media. The Cuban people have been left with no financial resources. They have no means of buying food. They are desperate and they are afraid. Some say this is the final destination. This is where globalism, tyranny, wants to lead you to the apocalypse. Cubans are forced to adopt the digital banking system, and now they are financially ruined. They have no recourse. The government will next offer the Cuban citizens universal basic income. Wow.
Breaking news, breaking news. Listen to me right now. You need to listen to this important information that no one is speaking about it. Everybody is ignoring this. Cuba is running out of money. All the banks in Cuba are running out of money. This can happen in USA too. Listen, that's how the government is going to start taking power. This man right here has 3 days trying to take money out of the bank, and he haven't, because all the ATM says out of service. Listen to this reporter straight from Cuba. What is going on
taken
right
to the
now?
streets once again last Sunday in Santiago de Cuba and also in other areas near Santiago. So hundreds of people took to the streets in response to electric power outages that are controlled by the state and the regime. Also food crisis. In Cuba there is very little food for the amount of millions of people that are on the island. And so Cubans since began practicing once again at the stage of thousands of protesters their activism. They've been engaging in rights that they don't have, but they've been demanding that they have a right to talk and to engage with each other and the public and the international community on their complaints with the current government, which is repression, which is silence, a lot of propaganda. And so the Cubans are out on the streets. Once again, it's getting hotter and hotter. It's almost, summer, and there's very little power. There's old technology that is somewhat comparable to old 1950s cars. And so you don't have an efficient electric system. And you have an electric system that's controlled by the state, that is at times weaponized by the state, just like food is weaponized by the state. So the economic conditions, I don't want your viewers to think it is something that is just happening naturally. No, this is something controlled internally by the Cuban regime. And most of the time it has to do with weaponizing both food and electricity so the people won't demand their human rights.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you read this, fam. It's a long story. As you read it, listen. The Bank of Cuba, right, adopted this CBDC, the central bank digital currency, and left them without all their resources, man. The bank collapsed, and now these people don't have nothing. So, this is something to carefully consider moving forward. A lot of these countries are going to a central bank digital currency where they're using more of a digital method of payment than they're going with cash. Cash is obsolete. We just use cash based off of confidence. This is like an old traditional way that people exchange products or goods or services or receive payments. The value of the fiat currency has lost significant value. The purchasing power. The value of the fiat currency has lost significant purchasing power since its inception in 1913. Many people are not educated on this. Hell, the 99% of the world are not educated on this. This is something that's not put in schools and any type of curriculum. Economics is not, it was at one time, it's not no longer. Just like they took out home ec for the kids. That's why more kids don't even know how to cook. Yeah, it's a long story. A lot of shit's microwavable. Right, it's crazy. But this is something to carefully consider what's taking place because these banks are all ancestrally connected. Understand what I'm trying to explain to you? Just like we are all ancestrally connected. It's just the fact that they're unified and we aren't. And they have a plan and they follow their plan. And many of us, we start plans and resolutions just like New Year's. And we kind of like, we have no structure. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So a lot of people will suffer financially because of this. And many other banks that's collapsed and moving forward. Only thing I can strongly recommend and encourage is that you do some due diligence. Do some research, question whatever you got to. Get around some like-minded individuals. Position yourself, you heard? Peace.
So we saying, control the money, control the people. You know what I'm saying? Control the money, control the food, control the people. So we seeing that we're very close, to total control. We seeing we in this transition, period to this digital society. They want total control. Would be dealing with your biometric. Mental Lord constantly warning you left and right. So we seeing that it's coming full circle. All the gainsaying, all the unbelief. See what's happening in Cuba. These people right now are in panic mode. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, they already forcing them in a chokehold. So they, one thing about it, a lot of those people's over there, they'll get ready to, to find out who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And one thing about it, and over here in America, they're in for a rude awakening. So let's start today's lesson. We'll start here in Ecclesiastes, Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 7. It said, make no terror to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So there's right now, all of a sudden this has happened. They don't have any money in Cuba. People making bank runs. People's in disarray. A lot of things are happening. So we already know there's going to be food shortage. It's going to be water short. It's going to panic. It's going to break out. Now they're coming up with this solution with the universal basic income. So we already know it's going into what? Total control. You will not be able to buy or sell without taking it under the skin. So we're seeing that we're getting very close to these times. We're very excited. Lord is getting ready to return. Our salvation is at the door. Verse 8, it says, set not thy heart upon goods unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity. So a lot of people, had money in the bank, and a lot of people lost their money. A lot of people right now bugged out of their mind. What I'm going to do? How I'm going to get food? How I'm going to get my medical supply? How is my children going to eat? How is my family going to eat? My wife, So one thing about it is that, hey, Lord is getting ready to try everyone on the planet. So just like I said, it's getting ready to be a global event that you have never seen before. The hour of temptation is fast to approach. The Lord is breaking the staff of the bread. Your necessity, your way of life is getting ready to change. This place is getting ready to be a third world country. This place is getting ready to be a war zone. Look at Cuba. Already was a third world country. It's going to get worse and worse. And also many will be taken in a great number. So now let's go here to 2 Amos chapter 16. Very quick lesson through the Spirit. 2 Amos chapter 16. And we'll start up around verse, let's start up at verse 17. It said, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Woe going to destruction. Now that we already know that, great tribulation, great persecution, all these things are coming upon us. Jacob trouble is fastly approaching. We seeing that these things are lining up just like clockwork. Verse 18 said, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So what shall you do? And one thing about the only way you can be prepared if the Lord is dealing with you. If you're part of the elect, you will be in what? The secret place of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And one thing about it, the Lord will sustain you. He will provide for if you are part of that remnant that he's coming back for. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it is that we're seeing that we're very close. It's going to be what? Great sorrows, great mournings. We're seeing what's getting ready. already happening in Cuba. Famine, food shortage. Rolling blackout, cyber attacks, a lot of things that come. Great death. Because people cannot get the support that they need, the necessities. Their way of life is getting ready to change. So a lot of people can get ready to go from riches to rags, overnight. Also, a lot of people will be displaced. A lot of people are getting ready to be homeless. So that's coming very soon. And one thing about it, we already know that it's getting ready to be a lawless time that we've never seen before. And it says here, it's at the beginning of war. So World War III is getting ready to pop off. The Ezekiel chapter 38, Lord is gathering the nation. We're constantly warning. We're seeing that these little by little, they're constantly breaking this system down. They're taking out this old system. This is called a global reset. It's going to be globally. And also it's going to be dealing with that digital ID. Wake up. You know what I'm saying? Hear the words of the Lord. And one thing about it, we know that the famine of the word is fast approaching. And one thing about it, we are very close to these times, man. Woo! We're very close. Verse 19 said, behold, famine and plagues, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. And so we seeing these scourges. Also, we seeing these plagues are not slacking down for a moment. They're on every side. They constantly intensifying. They constantly is picking up. All of a sudden, what happened in Cuba is getting ready to come to America, but it's going to be 10 times worse. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it that we knowing that it is coming, man. A dark, perilous time, a dangerous time. Redeem the time wisely. We seeing right here, these scourges are sent for amendment. So we seeing what's happening in the West Coast, but a lot of people not paying any type of attention at all. They still are stuck on stupid, thinking that everything will be all right. And a damn thing is going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is getting ready to bring forth that judgment that you had never seen before. Verse 20 said, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourge. That's what's happening right now. People, they love evil and they hate the good. They hate him that rebukes at the gate, constantly scoffing and mocking, not being mindful of a damn thing. All they want to do is constantly do wickedly. And one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to show up with great glory and great power. And one thing about it, the body count is getting ready to be great. Because you're not paying no type of attention. Constantly loafing the Lord's law, constantly despising the words of Yahweh. But the Lord's getting ready to put an end to this nightmare. Verse 21, it said, behold, victors shall be so good and cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, the sword, famine, and great confusion. So that's what we're seeing right there in Cuba. A lot of people thought they was a good case, thought they had money in the bank, but all of a sudden now everything's uncertainty. That's why now they're telling you that they getting ready to give you some chump change, which in fact is universal basic income. And also they getting ready to put a little something extra with it, to go with it. This new digital money that's going to work hand in hand with this under your skin. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people right now still would thinking that they're going to be a good case, but they're going to trust in the strength of Egypt, and you will have to suffer that second death, which in fact is a lake of fire. You know what I'm saying? Man, a lot of people, right now, they in for a rude awakening. We're seeing that these evils are constantly growing all around us. It is time to pray. You know what I'm saying? It's time to pray without ceasing. Watch. Have a sober mind, a stable mind, because these things are coming upon us at a famine. And also, you're going to have to have faith. You do not have faith, you're going to be bugged out of your mind. It is impossible to please Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua if you do not have faith. Also, faith and works work hand in hand. And one thing about it, what are you doing for the Lord today? It's a lot of people not doing a damn thing. One thing about it, you getting ready to call upon him. White man Jesus will not save you. And the true names of the Heavenly Father is the great King that sits on the throne is Yahweh. Meaning that he is or he exists. And one thing about our Lord and Savior and our great deliverer is Yahweh Shai. That means that, he saves or he delivers. And one thing about it, he's getting ready to return and set everything back into order. Verse 22 said, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish famine, and the other that escaped the hunger shall the sword destroy. So one thing about it, so the Lord is going to bring all sort type of judgment upon this earth, so it's constantly picking up. We seeing that we coming upon these perilous time, this dangerous time, Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. It is at the door. We'll constantly warn you. We seeing what's going on in Cuba. We seeing what's going on all around the world. He's rolling out these digital IDs, and all of a sudden, a lot of people right now are working right now, going on, every day. It's looking fine, but this is the quiet before the storm. When all hell break loose, what are you going to do? You got to be grounded and seated in His wisdom and knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, you cannot lean on your own understanding. If you're not trusting in the Lord, you don't have faith, you're going to be destroyed. We constantly warn you, left and right. We're seeing this crisis that's taking place in Cuba, and they're not even talking about it. So let's go here to Ezekiel chapter 7. Let's go here to Ezekiel chapter 7. And also Zephaniah chapter 1, and about that great economic collapse. We might get that one too. Let's see. This ain't one meant to be a long lesson, just bringing out a few points. Ezekiel chapter 7, and still under the weather also. Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 19. And it reads, they shall carry their silver in the street, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. It said, they shall not satisfy their soul, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. So that's what's getting ready to happen. It's right here in America. The dollar is pretty much finished. All we're waiting on is an announcement. Everything is in place. These sleepers said everything. They got all things are ready. The stage is set. So one thing about it, when they make this announcement, hey, we're not no longer, the dollar is no more any good. We're coming with this new system. This is what we have for you. We're here to help you. The Lord said, never trust thy enemy. A lot of our people are going to line up. They're getting ready to take whatever this man has to offer. And one thing about it, you will be totally destroyed. The one that saves his life shall lose his life. So a lot of people still want peace and security. But one thing about it, will not be any peace. One thing about it, the Lord said, through much tribulation, ye shall enter the kingdom of heaven. Acts 14 and 22. So we seeing that we're very close. Let's read this once again. Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 19 said, they shall carry their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their soul, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquities. So this a lot of this, people's going to have a lot of stumbling blocks during this time. Remember Lot's wife, what I'm saying? A lot of people going to constantly going to look back at the life that they had. But one thing about it, you got to understand that this earth age is fading away. This is the temporal world. Esau is the end of this earth age, this world right now, this wicked kingdom right now. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So we're in that transition of power. We're seeing that the Lord is bringing it about. We're seeing that the vibration is changing. We're seeing that these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. We're seeing that we're living in the end time, real time. In the middle of the Lord, we're constantly sighing and crying left and right. We're standing on our watch. We'll stand on fire for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So now let's go here to our last and final script. Let's go here we close out in Zephaniah. Let's go here. Let's go to Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter, let's see what we want here. Zephaniah chapter 1. Let's start here and we'll read down. It says here, and it shall come to pass that in that days, says the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the sacking, and a great crashing from the hill. So this is describing a great economic collapse. We're talking about the fish gate, going back into a ancient stock market, but we're talking about the modern day stock market, what's getting ready to crash, a great economic collapse. We already know about what happened in the Great Depression of 1929 through 32, and also we had another one in 08. Say that recession, but it's going to be far greater than that. Something that you have never seen before. There's no coming back from that. Verse 11, it said, "Howl ye inhabitants of Mactosh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off." So that's what we seeing what happened in Cuba. Their financial system was cut off, and this is talking about an ancient Walmart or ancient stock market where they was buying and selling. So you in a modern sense, whereby we seeing what happened in in Cuba. They was cut off all of a sudden. So all of a sudden now panic is setting in, desperation, great sorrow. A lot of things are getting ready to happen. A lot of people getting ready to lose their mind. Civil unrest, insurrection, a lot of things are coming. Civil war, a lot of these things are coming. Verse 12, it said, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled in their leaves, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. So one thing about it, so a lot of people still have, oh, that's not going to happen. This is not going to happen. Still was thinking that they're a good case. See what happened in Cuba, coming to America. So we seeing what's getting ready to happen, So right now the Lord is constantly searching, finding out, constantly shedding light, constantly exposing things, all this wickedness, all these lies and deception, they're coming full to fruition, So one thing about that was what's covered is being uncovered. That was done in the darkness is coming to the light. So we know that the Lord is making Esau barren and barren. And one thing about it, and all this unbelief is getting ready to be a thing of the past. The Lord is getting ready to cease the arrogancy of the proud. Verse 13 said, it said, therefore, their goods shall become booties, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. Coming upon that time, getting very close. Verse 14 said, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasten greatly. So even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. And he get ready to happen. Verse 15 said, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, and a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. So, Lord, when the Lord returned in the midst of World War III, the world gonna be in the great desolation. It's gonna be darkness. All sorts of wasteness. Destruction. So the Lord's going to come in the midst of those IBCM missiles hitting all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So Lord, the day of the Lord is going to be dark and gloomy. So we're coming upon that time. We are very close to the great and glorious return of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. Verse 16, say, a day of the trumpets and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. Verse 17, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung. So it's coming upon that time. So, this precursor right there, Cuba. Then there's a lot of them people walking like blind men. Lines are like they're lining up, trying to get what resource, trying to get something to eat for the day. A lot of things, So one thing about it, the body count is getting ready to be great. In the middle of constantly warning you left and right. And once again, let's read this part again. It said, verse 18 said, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy witness of all them that dwell in the land. So that's coming, So your any type of financial wealth that you have, it won't do you any good. You're like these doomsday preppers, it won't do you any good. You thinking that you have what you call a underground bunker, it won't do you any good. If the Lord is not on your side, you're going to be destroyed. Whether you are in the United States or you outside the United States, there's no escaping the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So we seeing that this world is getting ready to be turned upside down, but the Lord's getting ready to return and turn it right back side up. So we seeing right now that this order out of chaos. They get ready to put this new system into place. The devil's getting ready to fill his belly. And the men of the Lord, we constantly warn you. Also, Jeremiah chapter 30, saying, hey, that day shall be so great. And one thing, it's no a day like it, even the time of what? Jacob trouble. Let's get there and we'll close that there. You don't need me to keep quoting it. Let's go there. The Lord want me to go there. Let's go here. Jeremiah will close out here. This is where we pretty close are coming to right here. It's almost at the door. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. And it said, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And out about when you go into the word Jacob, it goes into Israel. You know, we already know that Jacob's name was later changed to Israel. So we know that Jacob is the patriarch of the 12 tribes of Israel. But one thing about the Lord is only returning from that remnant, the house of David, the true believers of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, the one that can foresee the evil, the one that constantly seeing that what's going on all around, these evils are growing left and right. We're constantly rejoicing because we know that we're almost at the end of this nightmare. We know that the Lord is getting ready to return. We know that the Lord is getting ready to set things back into order. We know it through much tribulation we shall enter the kingdom of heaven. But one thing about it, we're going to constantly trust and believe in Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, the Lord's getting ready to make it happen. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is Cuba banking crisis. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.